All right, welcome back to another weekly watch list session. This week will be special because I'm going to talk about the offers that I'm giving right now, and we go over some of the stuff that happened last week, as always. So without further ado, I want to tell you guys that my mentorship is now open for very limited people, and I have a very special offer on it. So now you can have a two session 101 with me for 250 only. I usually don't charge that much. But I want to encourage people to really, sit down, talk, and talk to someone that has been through all the stuff that being in the market, ask questions. I know a lot of you guys probably don't really get encouraged in the world of trading, but my goal is to really, as much as I can, educate people, and just helping them to find their own edge. I mean, that's one thing I learned through mentorship. I had really good mentors, and I had really a backtrack of working in an environment of trading, so that really gives me more of a experience to really be more comfortable in my future. So I want to really share with that with you guys. I know I have very limited spots. I already have few people, and I want to keep this very limited, because when you are doing as a big, I guess, so many people as a one-on-one trading session or private session, things can get really different, because not a lot of people have a commitment. Not a lot of people are, unfortunately, are willing to put it in the work and learn something new, and be able to really by this use all the educational thing and all the tips and tricks that I will give, use them, and create their own strategy and be much more educated into the future for themselves. But a lot of people are try to still step back because of obviously not willing to invest that money into themselves. Because let's be honest, if someone putting their times, putting their energy, they need to be compensated. So that's the whole era. I mean, some people don't really understand that. So I just want to clear that out and make sure that you guys understand that if you are wanting to see how things can really work out in this, and how things worked out for me, one-on-one session is the best option. You sit down with me, we trade together, we talk. I will guide you through that, and we have 2 hour of different dates that you can choose. I mean, that's for very limited time. I can give you guys that one. But if you really wanted to do permanently with me, you can book a session, call 30 minutes. It's free. We sit down, we go over what exactly your mistakes are, what are the obstacles that you have, what you want to achieve, what market that you want to trade. And if it's something that I can help you with it, I'll tell you. If not, we just having a good time. That's it. There's no nothing hidden. Everything is so transparent. I don't really much have a time to circle around things. I'll keep it straightforward. If this is something suitable for you, I will tell you. If not, I will just happily tell you that to just move on to a different word. But definitely something that I highly encourage you guys to do so. And make sure to get the link. You can just book this mentorship in the description. I put it in the first one or two links, and we also have an announcement. our crash course that I promised, which will be soon available, the beginner course. I've been working hard for this one, honestly, to just break down things that a lot of people are still struggling, and lots of courses out there probably don't really talk about it. But I put together things that I personally think is very important for someone who is just starting, or someone who wants to level up their mistakes, or level up their well, I should have put it this way: level up their trading words. It's always good to go back to the beginner, learn much more, learn different ideas from different people. It's really helps you, but not really using them towards your trading in a way that you copying things. Don't copy things. Just learn, just get knowledge, gain knowledge from them. So I decided to share with you guys the titles of all the course, all the videos that will be available once you get the course. This will be available to our yearly membership members for free, and for our regular members, monthly members, we do have a discount for them, so they will get that once it's available. But if you're out there, just reach out. Email support will help you if you want to get access to the course. But soon will be available, and if you want to get access to the faster access to the course, you can reach out and we'll help you out. You can also reach out to me through DM me on Telegram or email. I'll put it down below, and I will help you out. So without further ado, let's get started to our weekly watch list. And I'm going to talk about the crazy things happened for me personally last week, and what happened in the market. All right, let's get into our watch list. This week will be short, but I do have many back pocket on the watch. But on main watch, I put only one stock that I personally like, and I think that it still has something to offer. Other than that, rest will be really back pocket, because I need to see more of a activities on them, and more of a, I guess, more of a news kind of pump action on them. But as far like a setup that are really good to focus on for the next week, I do have NYCB on our main watch, which I'm going to talk about it, and why is that should be on our main watch. And the rest is honestly at this point, this whole financial kind of into this kind of cycle of banking crisis, volatility. Things can really go sideways. Things can go really different ways. So, but I'm happy because we got volatility. We got really decent volume that has been traded or across the market, and a lot of people are pulling out money. I just read an article on Bloomberg that says it's been over 100 million deposit has been withdrawn and moved to bigger banks than from a smaller bank. So you can kind of see that where all the smart money are kind of doing. What are they doing right now, and what people are actually doing as well. I mean, as a when you look at the dumb money, which is basically the retail money. Yeah. Without further ado, let's get into our watch list. But before, as always, I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for educational purposes. And if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Move on to a different video. This is entirely just my opinion, and you don't have to really see it as an advice. I mean, you should not see that as an advisement. All right, let's get into our main watch is NYCB. So NYCB is a banking runner. We had this on Monday pump pre-market. It was a very decent run up after they came out with the news. New York Community Bancorp, through its bank subsidiary Flagstar Bank, acquires certain assets and assumes certain liability of Signature Bridge Bank from the FDIC. So that was their first headline and first PR kind of move their price into the decent level that I was personally not really anticipated into the pre-market. However, I was mainly focusing on to see that if there would be a continuation as I saw a surge into the volume at the open. I mean, they had really decent volume across compared to other stuff that has been traded on Monday. I think we did have so on 20th we did have AMBI as well, so which I already put it on our back pocket. So we had few decent other setups that are that were some of the I guess C type of B, C and B type of setups that we had, but the main one was NYCB, which was really a setups in my opinion from the pre-market. But unfortunately really couldn't after 10 11:30 really crushed back down to the VWAP and couldn't really break above that level, but expected to really reach to the new high of the week pretty much that 9:35 on the next second day. But my personal thought was I want to short this on the second day. So first day I did trade this long, scalp few times on NYCB. This was, I think that was my only trade on NYCB. I did had that on Monday. Yeah, I only traded NYCB and I think I shorted CNTB, which was another successful short trade that I had, but I didn't put it on the watch list because it's already drowned to the toilet. So when the stock is already way out of shape, way out of volume, I don't think we will get anything out of it. So it's not really a probability to see another news coming out of it, unless if the news something, when you read the news, you have to analyze the news. You just don't read it and believe it. You analyze the news. You see if this news is something that could potentially have another, I guess, second leg type of news. We might have another kind of press release and in a different date based on what happened with that news. So let's say for example, when there's a merger news, we might expect more news out of that stock in the next few days. So that's kind of the thing, but that doesn't mean that necessarily would happen. That doesn't mean that's always the case, but the probability is always there that when they release the PR based on what the topic is, they might release more stuff out there. So you could expect that, but doesn't necessarily also mean that if that first press release help pump the stock to higher price, doesn't mean that the second day, if they release another news better news than the other one, could really move that price up again. It could really happen in the third day. So you gotta kind of analyze the news and see how it is. But NYCB had very several headlines from 28th to Friday. So pretty much was an active one throughout the second day as well. So I personally took a short on the second day. First day long, I was expecting this downtrend because I personally wanted to see a fade out into the second day, which was unsuccessful at the after 11 11 a.m. time. But I was happy that majority of my trade was between that market open 10 a.m. Kind of range, and I was looking at that time frame. So that was okay for me to take the profit, and rest of my share I got to stopped out because I saw a surge kind of setting up for another push. But eventually stock really consolidate, create that head and shoulder kind of setup, and went back below the VWAP. But obviously the third day was the major day to kind of attack this one, as it failed to break 935, which was very unfortunate. Why didn't really break above that 935, and sellers really decided to take their profits, and shorts were ready to slam this one back down to where it was on previous day support. So that was a great opportunity right here. I personally missed that one. I did not short that, but hey man, when you see stock is just topped out, does fake out, and does not really break out, and because I'm looking at this, I'm seeing the gap to 1040, which I'm going to talk about that, why I think there's higher room on this one, as I think that's really can reach to that level if there will be a decent volume size on this one. So far stock really perked back up after this 837 support, which was previous way actually back into that resistance, and the previous right here. We're talking about a few weeks back when the flush after crisis of all banks came out. People are just kind of like this one in order to make something come, make some of their losses back in their level at here 581. It wasn't really a number for this one. So yeah, so far held that 835, and then move back up. So my expectation on this one will be really just looking at the range, looking at how much of the risk that will be involved, and what the reward that we were talking about. So I am really anticipating to see if this downtrend kind of move back up. We already break out of this downtrend, so I want to see this $9 level to become a really new support and have some sort of continuation for a new high. 935 is not really an actual number on the highest side, so I would expect this to really kind of move back up to 950 level, and then 10 potentially. But doesn't necessarily means that stock can really do that. Obviously it could really create a really good short opportunity if it's going to be a double top, triple top kind of at 935 again, and then flush back down. I will also look forward to that, but the risk is higher after few days. If 935 reach, we're probably gonna break out of that and then move higher. So that's kind of my anticipation, my analysis on this one, if ever reach to that level. By the way, I put back the EMAs as a few of the students requested me that, can you just kind of explain why you put them. And I personally, this is really something that a preference. I'll talk about. I did talk about this on my course, so you should probably, after we launch it, probably just go over and watch it. The EMAs are really something that it depends on what you use, and you really prefer to use EMAs or not. For me, it doesn't. I am such a advocate in a way that I can use the EMAs whenever I want, and it does really help me. But I also really had an important, which I'll talk about this one in my intermediate course and advanced, about the tape reading. So you do need to learn how to read tapes. Tape reading is very essential, and how that can really helps you. So with that, you don't really necessarily rely on too much of EMAs. But although EMAs does help, EMAs are could just you can only trade off EMAs with no problems. But I love to mix and come and have my strategy with different things that I work out for me. So if this is something that you might don't do it, it's really something that preference. Some traders prefer to not really use EMAs, only look at the VWAP. Majority of traders have VWAP in setup. So I have this orange line as a VWAP, and the pink one right here, the purple, pinkish kind of. This one is a 7 EMA that I have. I don't use 10 EMA. I have 7 EMA because it does really show me for the short side. It's also really helpful. And I have 25 EMA right here as a white line, and 50 EMA as a red line, and 200 EMA as the blue line. I do also sometimes use 1,000 EMA, which is right here, kind of darkish blue. That also gives me a better idea. So personally, I do use them. Not often. Sometimes I prefer to not use them. I just look at the really volume. But when you adapt yourself to the market all the time, you kind of want to test out different different way of looking at the stock. So you always know how to combine them together, how to understand them when you put them together. So that's something that I personally do. I'll talk about it in my mentorship as well. This is something that I personally use. So if you really want to learn that, how I use it, just make sure to book a call with me. So NYCB, and that was it pretty much. I am having this one on our watch. I did have other stocks to trade that I traded a few other tickers as well, but on our back pocket I do have AMBI. This one is a very spready one, just random pump. The reason that I put it here is when you are able to take advantage of the pump, when you are when you are seeing that lower side of the stock, and you kind of realizing that okay, there's something or some insider activities going on. There's something could happen with this, and the spread is something that I can take advantage of. There's nothing wrong to have that on your watch. Put it on your different chart and see what kind of activity on that. So AMBI was one of them, and had news on Monday, I think. So I'm not gonna really dive deep into this. Just have it on your back pocket. And then QNCX. This one has already been out of my kind of setup because it's already in that $2 range, $1 range, $2. It did really good on Monday. Sorry, that Tuesday. Excuse me. That was something that I personally wanted to see. The stock is held this level. I think it's in the QNC. It's in the banking. Oh no, it's a biotech company. So relatively low float. One other thing that I wanted to mention: all the stock that we had for the past few weeks has been way too higher float, but because of the volatility, because of the liquidity, there've been so much liquid. They've been traded higher than usual on their average volume. So because of that, we're seeing every day a stock with like 600 million or 1 billion kind of float, that I know that's not the float type that we usually trade, but because of the market cycle, you gotta adapt yourself. You gotta go see where are the opportunities, so you will not sit back and be kind of missed out on those opportunities. Obviously, we're not seeing so many of lower float pump activity as much as used to, but we still get some stocks as like notes. I think Zura is actually, I'll talk about that. We still get those, but like NYCB that I have it on our main watch, it has 600 million float, so relatively high float. You normally we don't trade those because they're might not even move, or they move very slow, or they could, they potentially have lower rewards compared to lower float, as I mentioned a few times, and you should probably know that. But right now we have so much activities, so much, the volatility is insane. So yeah, QNCX also was another one. It has 27 million float, 49% institutional ownership. I mean, it does have room. It does really have room if that 150 break to go to that $2. I like to see this to $2, but if you're still getting, bank this week that are coming, probably we will see more banking movement again. We might have this narrow down kind of stocks, FRC only ended in few stocks. We might have the same thing kind of again. So I would expect that some of these old runners showed up again. I would expect actually to not see much of new tickers. Hopefully we will see, but actually it's better if we see like older ones, because we already know how they moved. We have their history for the past week, so if this same stuff happened, we kind of ahead of a time we can kind of see the move and make sure that it's tradable. So QNCX was one, and then Jan we had. I put it on our back pocket because on Monday, I think, yeah, it was on when was it? Yeah, I think we had Jan. That was Wednesday. So Wednesday we had Jan. Had activities and fade out. This was a short. I think I shorted Jan also on. Let me take a look. Yes, I did trade long actually. I did trade long. Long didn't go through, and then I shorted it. I was kind of like a break even kind of trade on this one, but I had it on a back pocket because I might see this thing to just kind of like move back up. I mean, the setup is still there. I don't hate this stock, but I don't really think that this is a really good area to stop by itself. Jan has what? Jan is an industrial, so lower float. This is one of those ones. Actually, we had last week is 2 million float, so that's kind of one thing that I like because it's only I think Jan was the only stock that has 2 million float. It was a lower float kind of compared to other ones. So yeah, that was it. And then ZURA was I think it was a SPAC deal. ZURA was actually great pump. And actually went up 200% on Wednesday. We had this one 300 almost 400%. Yeah, exactly 300, yeah, 411 kind of range. So that was a huge one. It got into that halt festival, which I don't like, and that was insane. The ZURA was insanely dangerous. I mentioned you guys in the channel. do not put size in this one. This is out of your area if you don't know what you're doing. Something that you should be very quick about it. You should only scalp when this sort of stock's coming in. I mean, stock moves $30, so you kind of want to be very smart about it. You don't want to really put a lot of money in this one. That would be just gambling. It is good to just take the range and wait for pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, and then just scalp that. And then eventually the stock just double topped, and 3755 was the max resistance. It's definitely not shortable. I don't think there's any shorts available. That wasn't any short available on Wednesday, but I think right now it's probably available. But it's not something that I would even consider it short. I like this one on the longest scalp because when there's a hype, definitely you want to get on it with the hype. I think they had an accusation, court transfer, Nasdaq, ZURA. Yeah, there are SPACs. I believe there are SPACs. Not a lot of information for this one because they're relatively new. So we might see this one to just have this pomp and halt festival again throughout the week. So yeah, that was it. Note was actually one of those suckers that I should probably avoid it, but I put it here in a back pocket. Definitely this one I made very avoidable mistakes on this trade. I should have really be able to scale out into the long side and then be able to short this one. I think this was on ETB, easy to borrow, so you could have shorted right easy. You don't have to really borrow shares. So yeah, that was one of those things that I was kind of I got lost into my trades on this one. So personally, I should have avoided, but should have, could have, would have doesn't make you a really good trader. So keep that in mind. You always have to have your plan. But for me, this didn't really work out for me. On the long side, actually, I scaled. I could have scaled more. Once again, I don't want to use that could have, but I made few bucks on this one on the long side, and then essentially kind of gave back my profit and some more into the short side and again long side. So I was kind of waited for this one to move back up because they came out with a really hype news. They had this very hype news. I think it was related to AI and ChatGPT. So that was the thing. Out of all the other stocks that having banking news, this was the only one that has this OpenAI partnership. I think there are plugins or something related to OpenAI. I have no idea how they're gonna really do that. So I have it on a back pocket. The reason that I put it on back pocket is just a lot of people got into that FOMO, and definitely so many people stuck on this one already, and they pretty much back holding. So I'm expecting this thing to just kind of sold out. It might go back to micro penny 90-80 cents. If they come up with another news, they can really pump this back up. I think Note is also low float, so that's one thing to keep that in mind. Oh, it's actually not. It's 98 million float. It's not really a low float. It does have 40% institutional ownership, so not a whole lot. The only move was just the hype and the news that they had. So that was it. And then DHHC, also another scalp, kind of as ZURA looking, same as that one. And then SI on Friday, we had this one. Definitely a cover pop activity. This is a cover pop activity with no doubt. We don't see much of kind of like a new buyers on this one. I personally don't think there's any new buyers in this one. Obviously, this is just a cover pop you can be certain about this. I mean, look at the stock. This bank is just crushed. SI after 15 just got shorted. Insane short. And definitely this was a really big order, cover pop, and obviously you could really took advantage of that cover pop and traded long in that 1 minute time frame, in that the 1 day range, and that was very successful. I personally scalped this, but I didn't really I don't really like this stock that much. So I do think if this cover pop activity continues, we might see a bigger pop into the second day, which would be Monday. Otherwise, we might not seeing anything. We might see more short activities into the downside. But the probability of trading this long is much higher than going shorter right now, because the stock has been has this huge downside, and it's already been down how much? Let's see, 200%. Let's take a look at the hourly. We're talking about from 15. Oops, still have this. All right, so the stock really down. Yeah, 93%. So if you were invested at $15 and waited for this one to really go much higher, you are, we're talking about, this is 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, if you were invested at $15, you essentially lose all your money. 92%. So these are the stuff that are happening, and be very cautious, team. Things are very choppy still out there. And let me go over, I'll send you guys out the news list, what happened last week. Index returned very widely as the small caps joined the Dow in negative territory for 2023. So that is something to keep that in mind. Major benchmark returns varied widely as banking industry and recession worries weighed on value stocks and the small caps, while large cap growth stocks benefited from falling interest rates. So this was a good headline that I saw what happened last week. So I posted, you get it in your inbox. I will post it in our chat as well. But yeah, man, things are very choppy. Be careful. It can really go south if you don't know what exactly you're doing. Be smart. Just day trade. We also don't have a swing trade at the moment. I don't really like anything. I still think that we're having that flushy coming towards us. So be smart. Be selective. And always be prepared and ready. Don't back hold. Don't get fooled by the media and news. They try to sell you something. Don't be that person. Be smart. Always think ahead of time. Think about doubt on something, and then have your analysis, have your purpose, and be practical and really do your own due diligence. So anyway, that's it for weekly watch list. Hope you guys enjoy it. This was kind of longer than usual, but I mean, come on, man. I tried to cover everything that I could and give you guys the best out of it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like, all those good things, so I can do more of these, and give you guys my thought and everything. And don't forget to check the first link for mentorship and join us if you want to use the scanner and have us in our learn from people that has been into the world of trading. And once the course are available, I will announce it. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys on Monday. Let's have a better week than the other week, the previous week. Take care, team, and have a great rest of your day.